Angelo here, owner of AppealUnfairPropertyTax.com, where you never pay a percentage to fight your Cook County property taxes, single-family homes up to 6-unit buildings, and this video is for our Elk Grove Township customers and all their friends and family. If you own a house in Cook County, the number one thing you should know is that every 3 years, the county gets to wipe out the current property tax value and slap it with a new one. And this is what makes Cook County unlike any place in the country. 98% of America they reassess each and every year, and it's normally only like 1 to 3%. That's all the homeowner tolerates when you hit them every year with a new tax value. Cook County doesn't do it that way. They're in that other 2%. They reassess every 3 years, and for decades it's been like 30% plus, and it's insane. The 2021 reassessment for Chicago owners was the worst I saw in 26 years of property tax appeals at that time. And it was like 60 to 128% for most of our Chicago clients. They got it again in 2024, just last year. And you guys always get it the year after Chicago. So whatever they do to Chicago, we kind of have an idea what they're going to do to the north side. The first thing you should always understand, whether you've been a homeowner 20 years, if you've been a homeowner 20 years, you probably figured this out, what year that hits. Actually, no, I take that back. If you've been a homeowner for even 25 years, you've probably figured out when it hits the tax bill. A lot of people haven't figured out when the value actually hits. The value actually hits, and you see it coming a year before it hits the tax bill. And here's why tax bills come a year late in Cook County. Because they do send out a warning letter that most people don't see. It often goes to the bank, and the bank does not have to copy you on those letters. They just got to tell you about bills that they pay. So they can shoot a three-pointer with that letter. Now what happens is when you miss that letter, a year later it hits the tax bill the following July with full force. And since most people have the taxes included in the mortgage, that's when you first find out a year after it actually happened, and you miss the whole first year of fighting it. That's the good news. My customers know that you can, and they do fight it. My customers fight each and every year. A lot of people are using an old school lawyer or somebody who's gouging them for 30 to 50%, and they help them the first year only. They love it when they get hiked 60 to 128%, like Chicago did a few years back, and they get paid a killing just to soften the blow. Here's the one thing none of their flyers tell you, okay? The first year of the cycle, the year you go up, every 3 years it jumps, right? So in 2025, it jumps for everybody in Elk Grove, and it just jumped a couple days ago. Yesterday, actually, it opened for appeals 2 days ago, but the new values weren't available. That was a little odd, but that's the county for you. They have ultimate power and zero accountability, okay? So they can do whatever they want. The values didn't show up until yesterday, and then we go through them for a day, making sure the data is good. The county can at times, and they do quite often, retract bad data. So now the values are official. You can go check them out on the CookCountyAssessor.com website and see for yourself. Our average customer increase was just under 30%. Okay, 26 was the average client increase. Some were as high as 64. So it's not pretty. And did real value go up 25% average on all homes in Elk Grove Township in the last 3 years? Highly unlikely. Okay, I think if it did, everybody would sell, and like I said, go start a new project. I say that in several of my videos, and it's just not the case. So Cook County is terribly expensive, and like I said, most right now won't have any idea. A lot of people even do catch the letter. It's a letter that says the value is this going up to this, and when value goes up, that's a good thing, right? Not in regards to property taxes, okay? So you got to be aware of it. You got to know what's happening. And the moment that new value hits, the first 30-day window, you got two 30-day windows to fight it each year. The first is the assessor. Cook County Assessor's Office goes through all 38 townships in Cook County. Then they close, and 4 to 6 months later, a second and better agency called the Cook County Board of Review, they open and go through all 38 townships, okay? And they were put in place 100 years ago to do one job, 8 hours a day, and that's to babysit this one. Overrule them where they see necessary. So if this one says no, this one can say yes. If this one says yes, here's 10%. This one can say not good enough, here's another 15%. Total between both, 25%. So The one thing I was getting at with my competition is they're not so forthcoming. They get paid just to soften the blow. So let's say you go up 25% and they lower you 25%. Guess what happens to your property taxes? Absolutely nothing. You stay exactly the same, okay? And then you get a bill from them saying, oh, you owe me, $1,500, dollars for what, And so their contracts never mention the word dollars. So the homeowners, you see their flyers that are all written pretty much the same way. Great psychological marketing. Only pay when you go down. That's how they all sound. And now this tells a customer, one, oh, it's a guarantee. Means I don't pay anything unless I go down. Then the homeowner's thinking, oh, I've been paying, let's say $8,000 a year for the last few years. So I'm only going to pay him when that $8,000 drops. What they don't know is the 8,000, 8,000, and 8,000 is history now. Now they're going to, let's say 10,000, okay? That's only 20%, right? Roughly. No, that'd be 25%, another $2,000, okay? So now when they bring that rate back down, taxes will remain $8,000 roughly, and they're going to get a huge increase because the contract says assessed value. Doesn't say any mention of dollars in the contract. That's how they get it by you, okay? So on the system, they never even saw the letter, about it going up because it went to the bank. What'd you do? I don't think you did anything for me, but they did, and they get covered, okay? And their contracts don't say, wait until July when you see the bill, because then they're thinking when they saw the marketing letter, oh, I'll only pay them when I see that 8,000 drop. No, that's a year from now. Their contracts say you pay on receipt of a decision letter, okay? And they'll see a decision letter. They'll forward the decision letter, and they'll believe that it's dropping. And then in July, when it doesn't, in most cases, it doesn't even stay the same. In most cases, it goes from $10,000 to $9,000. They saved you $1,000, and they're going to take 50%, $500, which would pay us for almost 6 years. What made us popular? We have a low flat fee. We have a single family up to 6-unit apartment building policy that we cover all those homes under our low flat fee, even some mixed use, a couple of apartments above some storefronts, as long as there's no more than 6 combined, can be done under our low flat fee. So we are the highest rated and the lowest charging property tax appeal business in Cook County, which is huge. We work throughout Cook County. The county opens your townships based on they open your appeal windows based on your township, not your city, okay? So it's everybody in Elk Grove Township that has just been hit. When you get hit, for those of you who've been there 20 years, you might have figured it out. Most of you have no clue. Every year, the county reassesses 1/3 of the county, the entire county, okay? So picture Chicago and 45 miles around it. You cut it into 3 slices. Everybody north of Chicago, not North Chicago, okay? Everybody above Chicago, number 1. Number 2, everybody in Chicago. And number 3, everybody below the city of Chicago, okay? Not South Chicago, but below the city of Chicago, okay? So it goes all the way west of Barrington, all the way south to Calumet, all the way north to Winnetka, Evanston. This year, it's the northern chunk, everybody above Chicago, Evanston to Barrington. They're all gonna get new values. Some have already gotten it, like Elk Grove, Norwood Park, and now New Trier, also 46% average customer increase in New Trier. Insane. We're going to do a separate video for them. But if you got friends there, they're currently open also. So you got to be fighting it now. It's just on the system now, but it's there in print and it becomes real. It means it is real unless you fight it, okay? If you don't fight it, you're married to it for the next 3 years, okay? So you got to be fighting. So the job, the first year of the cycle is to soften the blow, not to lower dollars at all. My competition is never that honest, and their flyers are completely misleading the exact opposite way. Years 2 and 3, you can work on going dollars down, okay? But to get dollars down in that first year, it means you got to get a value lower than the one that was issued 3 years ago, and that's almost impossible, okay? So that seldom, it does rarely happen, but seldom. 95% of the time, it's softening the blow, okay? How do you appeal your property taxes in case you're here for the first time? There's 2 ways of getting it done. The most common is called a lack of uniformity approach. It's finding homes like yours, paying less, and then you use those homes to fight your value down. We have a $250,000 database. I've been a heavy believer in data, and we are completely data driven once you're in. It's a $250,000 database. I have 3.5 years into a business information systems degree. Never graduated because we got too busy. And I went to school not for the purposes of getting a job in IT. I went to school for the purposes of learning how to build a tool for my business, and that's what we've done. I'd say I got just smart enough to be dangerous, and then I turned it over to experts, 3 engineers much smarter than myself, and we completed it 11 years ago. We've been on our flat fee. It was the tool that let me get rid of my percentage. I was the first company in Cook County to convert from a contingency fee. I am guilty of charging 33 to 50% for many years, and then we switched to a low flat fee. What do we charge? $175 a year, and we have a 3-year package on our website that's $275. And right now, we are holding a crazy, crazy sale. We do several sales throughout the year where current customers or new customers can get in and grab some crazy amount of service time at a ridiculous amount. And we're currently holding a sale. I don't want to mention it here because this video will be posted for a while and it probably longer than the sale will run. But it is running right now, and there is an amazing deal on our website that's much better than the $275 for 3 years. So go check it out, appealunfairpropertytax.com. If you only see the 1 year and the 3 year, then that sale must have ended. But right now, on May 8th, it's currently running. So go check it out. Yes, appreciate the business. You got to be fighting. Like I said, it's our job once you're in to alert you when something happens or like when an appeal opens, and then it's our job to arm you with a file. We spend $15,000 to $20,000 a year maintaining that database, and it's very good at what it does, and it's the reason for our ratings. Our ratings aren't just because of our low pricing. Most of our reviews mention the actual end result, and that's lowering the property taxes. So now here's the next best part where our customers forge ahead and where the majority of my competition is dropping the ball. They're old school and they're still on a paper system. They find the best 3 homes in your area. When someone calls from your neighborhood, your area, you got to match a few things: township, class, construction, and neighborhood code. And they got a little Excel spreadsheet for that. You know, if they're smart, they do. If they're not, they just got a notebook, like real old school people. They go look at other homes, class 203, which is 1,000 to 1,800 feet, the most common size, and neighborhood code 130 near Menards in, let's just say, Niles. And then they just go photocopy those 3 homes, and they use those same 3 homes for everybody. We use a $250,000 database that's connected to the county in real time for $5,000 a year, and it sniffs out the absolute lowest homes. It also avoids a lot of things you shouldn't use that most homeowners can't see from home. So for example, some people know how to do their own property tax appeals, and that's better than doing nothing. But if you've made it this far into the video, one of my favorite quotes is, "You can drive a car with your feet, doesn't mean it's a good idea." Yes, doing your own property tax appeals is better than the guy who's doing nothing. 85% do nothing in Cook County. They just keep paying it. And those are the people hurting 100% of taxpayers. Only 15% fight. Now, there are millions of PIN numbers in Cook County. So there's 1,500 companies that help you work on your property taxes in Cook County, feeding off of just that 15%. Can you imagine that? It's crazy. But there's a wide open market of 85% doing nothing. Why do 85% do nothing? Some of my current customers have heard this a ton of times, but we're in the information business, not in the sales business. I say that all the time. A lot of people get the description of the house every year, and it shows an unfinished basement. That's the biggest trick. We surveyed our customers like 8 years ago, and like 75% admitted to having a finished basement. But the majority of the tax records still say unfinished. So they think, oh, I got 1,000 feet for free down there. Even though I did permits 5 years ago, they never added it to my square footage. I'm getting deal of the century, and they're writing a check with a smile on their face, thinking they're going under the radar. They're happy to pay their property taxes. And that's the wool over the taxpayer's eyes. Guess what? Basements are never included in square footage. It's free, no matter what you do down there. A pool room, a bar, it's all yours. Sometimes it's something simple like, oh, it shows no AC, and I'm afraid if I appeal, someone's going to come out here, see my air conditioner, and they're going to, raise my... No, you don't need to worry about that. Description errors keep most people from appealing. In most cases, the description was taken at construction. Most homes in Cook County are 100 to 120 years old, and they all have a little more or a lot more than what was originally there, and they're just afraid they're going to get nailed for it. Oh, it says 3 bathrooms, and I've got 4 now. It doesn't matter. They can never come inside. It's against the law. They can walk the property at any time. They can look through windows, but they can never come inside. Okay. Square footage does matter. Quick tip to people who have a 2-flat or 3-flat, especially in Chicago. Think of friends with an enclosed back porch. We used to offer a measuring service, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it back on the website soon. We stopped it during COVID. 7 out of 10 2-flats, 3-flats that we went to with an enclosed back porch was wrongfully included in the building square footage because it's not heated. Only 1 in 15 that we went to was heated. Most people just put the walls and windows there to keep snow off. And that can be 20% of your square footage. And we have people that we sign up every day who've been there like 20 years. Unfortunately, you can only go 3 years back for refunds. Good news is, if you get on top of that, you shave all future tax bills by 20%. In just 5 years, you've saved 100%. It's crazy if it was a 20% error. So yeah, you want to double check your square footage. Now to do that, you need to check the way the county measures from the outside. Length times width from the outside. Living heated space only, never the basement, unless it's a split level. Okay, a split level where the ground is at your waist. Unfortunately, those are measured in, okay, according to Cook County law. So the assessment, the way they assess. My customers live the longest in those homes because they got more stairs, but they pay for that basement. But if you're in a true basement where the ground is at your shoulders or your head level when you're standing in it, that's never included in square footage. Okay, never porch unless it's heated, never attic unless it's livable. Okay, so yeah, double check that. And if you find out you're bigger, guess what you do? Keep your mouth shut. It's their job to measure it right the first time. Eventually they're going to catch it. They're getting smarter and smarter. They're using satellite imagery. They can catch build outs, but it's also causing nightmares. Like, what if that's a mudroom? What if that's a unheated greenhouse? So yeah, it says it's your job to know your assessment, and it's your job to fight it if something's wrong. So and if you do find it there, you got to fight for it. We've seen it where they changed the square footage and 3 years of refunds never came through. Sometimes we see it where 1 year of 3 came back. You got to stay on their butts. We're happy to help you do that. It's an automated system. Once you're in, you get alerted when your appeal window is open, and you get an evidence file to fight it. And the database will keep building those appeal packages until you're within $200 of the absolute lowest homes. Okay, so you got to be on top of it. I've now spent 17 minutes. I hope it's worth it. If I could ask for one favor, please go post this on all your Elk Grove social media groups, okay? Unfortunately, we don't allow comments. My competition has found a way to infiltrate our Facebook groups. Like we were, back in the day, we were in like Moms of Nutri or Moms of Elk Grove, and with the permission from admins, just to say hi and alert you when your appeal windows were open. Lawyers in these same groups would hop in and flag those posts, and they figured out that Facebook's automated algorithms would think it's something bad, pull the post, and then we'd get locked out of Facebook. And me, as an individual, I get locked out of everything you use to sign in with Facebook. Like, even I think my bank at the time, I couldn't sign in my bank because I signed in with Facebook. All of that stops working when you get locked out of Facebook. Then we were told to create our own group, and then we could talk more freely, and that wouldn't happen when I did my research on Facebook, and we did that. We have a group called Cook County Pissed Off Taxpayers and Property Tax Watchdogs, which went to like 700 members the day we released it. And they found out that in that group, they could click the bullying button. I guess there's a report bullying button on Facebook, and it would get us kicked out and locked out of Facebook. So that page just kind of sits there now. Sometimes we can drop just a YouTube video in there with no text, because I guess Facebook's learned if it's a YouTube video, it must be okay, and they don't get flagged. But and for the same reason, we have to turn off comments, because that's how bad our competition does not want you to know about us, okay? We put a big dent in a lot of players' pockets the last 11 years. We've been on our low flat fee going on 12 years. This June will be 12 years. So if you're paying some guy a percentage, he's not going to feel bad when you leave. Breaking a contract is super easy. It's super easy. There's a whole videos tab on our website. Get Wiser, how to dump your lawyer. That's their favorite one. If their appeal window's open, they can't submit it. So you send them a letter today saying, hey, don't do anything else on my house. If you got one in and cooking, fine, bill me when it comes, I'll pay you, and then that's it, end of the road for you. It's a file that you upload to the county following our screenshots. It's super simple. We do have a premium service on our website. We've taken it down right now not to cause confusion with the sale we're running, but it'll get offered at the top of this package. This is the assessor's office. We are not lawyers. Lawyers hate us. We have a licensed representative number where we put our code right where the attorneys put their code, and we could file this one for you, which will give you basically 6 months off until this one opens. Here, you still have to upload it. It's the law. You upload it from home, it makes it yours. All results come back to you. And it's super simple, like 8 clicks and you're done. It's cakewalk. So you're gonna feel a little dumb when you see how easy it is, and you've been shelling out to this dude 30 to 50% forever. A quick note about the competition too. We take in customers every day who've had the same guy for 10, 15 years, and we say, hey, you're missing your homeowner's exemption. Like, no, I got a guy, I'm sure I remember he gets me refunds. Well, you've been missing it 3 years, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but when you're on a percentage, it's not in their interest to fix it the first year. Their contracts, while they don't mention dollars, they also don't mention the word refunds. You're going to see certificate of error. That's how they get that one by you. And they usually get paid for every single check, which could be up to 3 checks back. Certificate of error is the county's term, which becomes a refund, a physical check for taxes already paid. When I made the decision to get rid of our percentage for refunds, I also made the decision to get rid of our percentage. I'm sorry. When I made the decision to get rid of the percentage for reductions, you don't pay for reductions. You keep 100% of your reduction. And why not? You paid 100% of the property taxes. I also made the decision to get rid of the contingency fee or the percentage for refund checks. All of them cover refunds. They all take 25 to 50% of every refund check, which could be several years. So I say it's not in their interest to fix it the first year and get paid, 50% of Chicago's missing homeowner exemption, which is like $700 the last 5 years. It's better to let it slide 3 years and get you $2,100 back and get paid 51% of $2,100. And that's what they do. One last little gold coin tip on our competition. Do you have an average house like most people? Or do you have like a, billionaire house? You paying a couple $100,000 a year in property taxes, or $5,000, which I think is still the average in Cook County a year. Most people have the average house paying about $5,000 a year. Now, which house do you think they file first? The house with $200,000 property tax bill or the guy with $5,000? I guarantee you the majority of my old school competition have figured this one out with the help of their accountant. You spreadsheet your highest property taxes to lowest, and you get to the little guy last. Don't be hurt. Be smart. This is business. It's a gold mine, and these guys are just raking it in on a percentage. So information is power. My mom would always say the best decision is an educated decision. You've been a little schooled here. If you want to continue education, continue your education on property taxes, it's worth it, man. This is your biggest investment. Property taxes are the biggest bill you're going to pay related to this house. So be on your A game. Go hit the videos page. There's a customer's testimonial, real people who no bullshit. We swear a little bit. We took a survey on it. 94% of our customers said, we asked, do you want us to keep it professional, or do you want us to talk to you like family with the occasional profanity? All right, you've been schooled. No bullshit. Go check it out. Even my my customers will even swear a little bit in their videos. One lady talks about going downtown with a bow and arrow. They speak very open, and clear cut. There's no acting. So go check it out, get wiser videos, and there's a free evaluation form on our homepage. But do me a favor, if you've already done your research and you know that John right next door to you with the same exact house is paying less, just go straight to the Sign Me Up page. Please skip us that step. It'll take usually 24 hours or less to get back to you if you're overtaxed or not. The check is free. 95% get done using that data, homes like yours paying less. 5% use a sales ratio approach where they're using a recent purchase price. If you bought the home in the last 5 years, regular sale only, not foreclosure, short sale, or if you had it appraised in the last 3 years. Sometimes people find out that it's pathetically low value, and a lot lower than they thought it would be. Sometimes we can use that appraisal, that bad news that might have even got you denied. We had a guy who got denied refinancing, and he impressed the heck out of me because he's a young guy in his 20s. Hey, Angel, I'm trying to lower my payment $140 a be with my budget. I'm like, man, I wish I was 26 and knew how to budget. I still don't know how to budget, and I'm 50 now. But he got denied refinancing because his appraisal came in super, super low. We used that appraisal and lowered his property taxes almost $200 and something a year. Insane. He did better than he was trying to do with refinancing by fighting his property taxes. Boom. There you go. Angelo, family owned, 5 stars everywhere. Facebook, Google, Yelp, A+ rating, Better Business Bureau. Go check. And then just hit the Sign Me Up page and catch that amazing sale. Thank you. Last thing, please now go share this. We're at 25 minutes, just under. but it's important, I like to think. You can't say, oh, I didn't know. And then we're going to tell even our customers, oh, we sent you a video back on May 8th. You didn't watch? You didn't submit your appeal package? Well, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. I had a lot of those. So it's like going to the dentist. Pay a little bit now so you don't pay a lot later, okay? And then we just keep chiseling it down. Whenever you get a decision letter, the database runs out and sniffs out the best winners. And our customers fight each and every year. And that's where my customers forge ahead. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.